Last time on Shadow Piece, with the observations of Big News Morgan's World Economics newspaper birds, the entire world had the ability to follow the spectacle that would be known as the Shadow War in the future. Countless battles were happening all over the island, all at the same time, but some carried on for longer than others. The clamor of war raged all around Hachinosu. Cannons thundered from ships anchored along the jagged coasts, their echoing blast shaking the blackened cliffs. Screams, laughter, and curses of pirates blending into a chaotic symphony, while the banners of the Blackbeard pirates clashed with the insignias of the Fleet of Death. Smoke drifted across the sky, but high above it all, murder of birds circled, silent, watchful eyes. And within the burning streets, two figures carved out their own stage. Their battle had been going on for a while already, and yet both of them still seemed to be far from exhausted. This was the ability of those people standing at the top of crews that were seen as the most dangerous in the world at the moment. Yo-ho-ho-ho-ho-ho! Brook's laughter rang sharp as his blade met the arc of Laffitte's cane sword. The clash resounded like a violent high note, lingering in the air before snapping apart as both men twisted back, their feet skimming the stone ground in flawless synchronization. The skeletal musician spun lightly, the heels of his shoes tapping a rhythm as if he were mid-performance. His frock coat flared as his long rapier, so solid, darted forward in a flurry of thrusts. Each strike sought the smallest opening, aimed not for brute power but for precision so exact that the air itself seemed to hum with tension. Lafitte responded with a sly smile, his red lips twisting into a thin mocking curve. His cane flowed in his hand like a conductor's button, redirecting Brook's strokes with subtle, near-invisible movements. Not a single motion was wasted, no flourish, no wasted swing, only the most efficient surgical counters. His pale eyes gleamed with amusement, drinking the struggle before him. For every strike Brook delivered, Lafitte returned one of his own, but where Brook's movements were alive, with passion, Lafitte's were cruelly cold, each intended to make his opponent falter, hesitate, suffer. They moved through the ruined courtyard like dancers, not a single step faltering, every parry and feint fitting perfectly into the next beat. Sparks flickered from their blades, tiny flashes against the greater inferno of the island. Brook leaned back from a sudden thrust, the tip of Lafitte's cane slicing through the black frock at his rib cage. My, that was close, but you missed my bones, yo! His skull grinned wide as he retaliated, his sword whistling upward in a vertical cut. Lafitte tilted his head with eerie elegance, the blade shaving a lock of his dark hair as he slid sideways, his own coat swishing with the movement. "You jest even on the verge of death," Lafitte murmured, voice smooth as silk, yet dripping with venom. "How entertaining. The thing is, I laugh when others bleed." Brook's sockets darkened, his usual cheeriness sharpening it into defiance. "Yo-ho-ho-ho-ho! Well, unlucky for you, I don't bleed. I already lost all of my blood in the past, and I must tell you, I laugh so others don't have to cry. That's the difference between us, you vile man." The words carried no pause in their combat. Brook's blade became a blur, driving Lafitte's back towards the collapsed wall, yet Lafitte's movements were unnervingly fluid. He seemed almost boneless, bending at strange angles as he parried and evaded. Twice, Brook was sure he had struck flesh, only for Lafitte to glide away like a phantom. The crowd of battling pirates nearby had unconsciously pulled back, forming an unwilling audience. Neither fighter spared them a glance. Their worlds shrank until only the two of them existed, their duel more captivating than the entire war itself. Above, the birds wheeled lower. Lafitte noticed. His smirk widened. "Yes, watch all of you. Witness a skeleton fall to pieces once more." Brook caught the implication, and instead of being unnerved, he straightened, spinning his sword in a flourish. "Then let it be a performance worth recording, a duel of music and madness." The tempo increased by multiple beats. Brook's strikes now carried rhythm, his feet tapping the ground like a metronome. He was not merely fighting, he was performing a song for everyone to hear. Each step, each thrust, followed the unseen melody of his soul. His rapier's movements traced arcs like bow strokes across invisible strings. The sounds of weapons clashing, of breathing, of moving around the muddy battlefield. All of that was part of the symphony Brook was creating. Lafitte countered with his own performance. His blade work was like hypnosis, mesmerizing, minimal, calculated to instill unease. He tapped his cane against the stones between strikes, not to set rhythm, but to unsettle, to break Brook's timing. This was as much a direct battle as it was a special event for the public. Brook trying to make them feel at ease with his melody, while Lafitte tried to interrupt the soothing sounds of his twisted and abrupt noises and actions. They crossed again and again, sparks flying, breaths, or in Brook's case a cold wave of air coming out of his skull. Their blades were too fast to follow now, only the ringing notes of steel against steel betrayed the sheer volume of strikes exchanged. Brook leapt, twisting in mid-air to bring his rapier down in a flourish. Lafitte met him, their blades locking. For a heartbeat, their eyes met, empty sockets against pale cruelty. "You play for others," Lafitte hissed. "I play for myself." Brook pressed forward, skeletal teeth gritting. "And that is why you will never reach the heart of an audience. Yo!" With a burst of strength, he forced Lafitte back. The Blackbeard officer slid across the stone, coat dragging, yet he did not falter. Instead, he laughed softly, chilling in its sincerity. Minutes bled into more, yet neither side yielded. Their bodies, or in Brook's case bones, moved with inhumane endurance. The courtyard was scarred only by precise cuts, shattered cobblestones and narrow gashes along the walls. No wasted destruction at all, just proof of skill. Lafitte's cane whistled, fainting low before darting high. Brook barely deflected, the edge grazing his clavicle, slicing bone. The sound was sharp, brittle. "Ah, that's going to leave a mark. Oh, wait, I don't even have skin. Yo!" Brook laughed through the pain, counter-thrusting fast enough to pierce Lafitte's coat sleeve. A thin red line of blood blossomed. Lafitte's smile twitched, not in pain, but in delight. "Good, very good." He licked the blood from his sleeve as though savoring it, then lunged with renewed vigor. Their blades rang out in a relentless rhythm. Clash, stab, parry, counter, clash, thrust, spin, retreat, clash, press, shift, strike, clash, dodge, turn, slash, clash, yield, circle, sting, clash, draw, lunge, pierce, clash, advance, feint, riposte. It was a duel that transcended simple fighting. It was a philosophy made of steel. Brook pushed harder, his movements accelerating as he whispered, "Encore! Soul Parade!" His blade became a blur, infused with the chill of the underworld and haki, frost trailing in luminous arcs. Lafitte met it with eerie composure, his cane carving narrow paths through the frost, parrying with almost invisible efficiency. The courtyard grew colder and colder, mist curling around Brook's strikes. The birds circled tighter, their feathers brushing the air. Lafitte's smile never faltered even for a second. "You think death frightens me?" he asked, twisting his cane to his arm. Brook barely recovered, spinning away. "No, skeleton. Death is a friend to me." Brook struck back, eyes burning blue within his sockets. "Those are empty words. I don't think you ever met death, but I can help you with that. Let me introduce you to the Grim Reaper." Yo! Their blades locked once more, faces inches apart. The world roared around them, but here there was only silence, steel, and hatred, and the audience of birds recorded every note of it. This is the end of today's episode of Shadow Piece. I hope you enjoyed this intro for another battle, the fight between the Titanic captain of the Blackbeard Pirates, Lafitte, the demonic sheriff, and the officer of the thriller bark, Brook, also known as the Grim Reaper in this universe. So, how do you think is this going to turn out? Will another member of the Blackbeard Pirates go down? Or will it be a loss for one of the few characters from the Strawhat universe that is also a part of this universe? Well, to find that out, you have to tune in the upcoming weeks. But for now, that's all from me for today. All that's left to be said is stay happy, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay cultured. Pyro, out. Bye!